The title of the story is Had I Known the Reason. The class was unusually quiet today for a Monday. This confounded Professor Tyagi, who looked at the students quizzically. No one spoke. They had only just greeted him a morning, parched and without any enthusiasm. Professor Tyagi smiled at a group of girls sitting in the front row. They returned his warm gesture with reluctance. Is anything the matter, students? Professor Tyagi asked in an attempt to break the silence. This was his classroom, not the library. No one spoke. They just sat brooding in their places. The atmosphere above the class was shrouded with clouds, heavily laden with gloom, and threatening to burst open in a storm every now and then. However, it only flashed and rumbled intermittently and fell silent again, the clouds not wanting to pour down and neither drift away. Not able to contain his anxiety anymore, Professor Tyagi questioned in a stricter tone this time, something very unlikely of him to do under any circumstance. Please, could someone show some respect to your professor's request and shed some light on that which is bothering you all this morning? A timid boy sitting right in front of the professor, who had become uncomfortably aware that the professor had been staring at him more than at anyone else, pointed towards a group of boys sitting at the back. It was then that the professor noticed that his favorite student, who always stood first in class and whom everyone in the class admired for his ever happy nature, sat crouched between his two friends, crying. What is the matter with you, Shiv? Why are you crying? Asked the professor, his brows creasing with concern. Shiv remained seated with his head held low, not wanting to talk. The professor walked up to him and said, You are a grown up, Shiv, and I'm sure you understand well that crying doesn't help solve any of your problems. But sharing your problems with your loved ones and working on it collectively does. Downright flustered, Shiv shot one angry glance at the professor. His eyes were red and puffy with incessant crying. Annoyed by the unwanted intrusion, he sprang to his feet and snapped at the professor, unrestrained. What are you going to do, even if I tell you? Nothing. Teaching thesis in a classroom of 30 odd pupils is very different than addressing real life situations. However, you won't ever understand the gravity of the situation people are faced with as you have spent all your life in this dingy classroom delivering memorized lectures. Please snap out of it and grow up, as you suggested to me just now. People have real life problems, sir, which can as much as drive them to the point of taking their own lives. With this rather distressing divulgence, Shiv stormed out of the classroom. Professor Tyagi delivered the lecture at hand and dispersed the students well before time. They were all worried for Shiv, but no one knew the reason for his worries, not even his closest friends. There must be something back at home that must have got him all worked up. It could be a passing financial crisis or a competitive exam, which he must have tried giving a shot but without any success. It might as well be a girl, but these were all speculations doing the rounds amongst his classmates. Shiv had decided to keep the cause of his concern with himself. Professor Tyagi spent some time alone at the library reading works of Swami Vivekanand and Munshi Premchand. He then collected his belongings from the teacher's room, a khadi cap and an umbrella, and made for his way home. The dusk had fallen rapidly that evening. The house stood in complete darkness. He put the key in the lock and turned it slowly. The rusty lock hinged open. Putting on the lights, Professor Tyagi restored the umbrella in the umbrella stand and hung the cap onto an iron hook nailed in the shabby walls of his aged house for the purpose. Lighting a lamp in the temple that housed a small idol of God Krishna, he headed for his study. A row of medals and trophies were neatly arranged on several wooden racks that were built into the four walls of the room to display with pride these prized possessions. Ah, my son Chandra, he exclaimed. There isn't anything that he's not good at. Name whatever, and he will get it done for you. From his childhood, the boy demonstrated exceptional skills and a never quenching thirst to learn. How his teachers used to adore him when he was in school. And similar was the case in the college and the university, where his professors lauded him for his expertise on all his subjects alike. But mathematics had always been his favorite subject, and so he aspired to become a math professor. How proud were we as parents, his mother and I, the day he graduated, scoring the first position in his batch at the university. How we had rejoiced the moment when he had flashed the medal for scoring the highest marks in his favorite subject, holding the trophy high above his head for being declared the best student of the year and clutching the certificate of excellence conferred to him by the head of department at the university. He had achieved everything in no time. He was proud of himself and of the way he took charge of his life and his career. I would like to take you around the world, Mayan Baba, he would say. There's so much out there to see, and I wish to see and live it all with you both. He would talk like a child wanting to touch the moon and pluck the stars, and surely he would have done all of that. He carried a cheerful disposition with him wherever he went. The radiance of knowledge around him never went unnoticed. It never failed to amaze people. He was always happy and so content within. Why then did he leave this? Professor Tyagi pulled out a letter from behind a big frame that encased one of the many certificates that Chandra had earned to his name. He unfolded the piece of paper and started to read its contents through his thick glasses. Dear Ma and Baba, I hope this letter finds you safe. Sadly, I know that it wouldn't find you happy. By the time you read this letter, I will be gone. I'm only writing this letter as I want you to know how much I love you and how much I'm going to miss you. Baba, you always say that there is no problem that cannot be discussed and solved. You have always encouraged me to give voice to my feelings, apprehensions, and share my thoughts with you and Ma. How I wish I could tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. How I wish I could share with you just how I feel. However, there are things that never escape our lips. They stay locked away forever in the deepest recesses of our hearts. At that moment, you only wish that feeling to die and the pain to ease. Nothing will ever justify my action, Mayan Baba. This is the biggest grief I can give you, but I beseech you to forgive me this one failure, this one moment in time when I bring tears of agony in your eyes after the multiple joys I have brought to your heart and many moments of pride that I have filled your eyes with happy tears. Your loving son, Chandra. A brief letter with very few words, but brimming with emotions that never escaped Chandra's lips. He took all the worries with him and left behind the stains of his blood on the letter. Like him, the stains too keep fading with each passing day. Chandra's mother spent 2 days thinking of all possible reasons that could have led her son to take his own life, post which she ceased to think as she left me to join him. I'm sure she now knows the reason why Chandra did what he did, and for which I will have to wait until the day I am reunited with them. Thank you.
Beautiful story, Anu.
Wow.
And it was so engrossing, na? Matlab, I think not everyone was so focused on each and every word that you were narrating, and your narration was absolutely, great.
Thank you.
So engripping,
Thank you.
everything was so good.
Thank you.
So nice. I'll request Snehal. You are, yes.
एक्चुअली बहुत एक पूरा जर्नी पे लेके गए वो और नरेशन वाज अमेजिंग इट वाज टू गुड लाइक एक्चुअली सब इमेजिन हो रहा था एंड आई थिंक दैट्स द बेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द स्टोरी टेलिंग
Thank you.
Onisa.
Anu, like always, first time I heard your poetry, I was stunned. And secondly, now that you have tried storytelling again, you have left me stunned. No words left to say. And hats off to the topic that you have chosen. That suicide is such a touchy topic, and the way that you have narrated, everything was so on point. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shailendra ji.
अन्नू का जो नरेशन का स्टाइल था वो इतना प्यारा था, इतना अच्छा था कि स्टोरी के जो इमोशंस थे उसमें उन्होंने जान फूंक दी। बहुत जबरदस्त तरीके से पेश किया है इसको।
Thank
इसमें
you.
कोई शक
Thank
नहीं,
you so much.
इसमें कोई
Means a
शक
lot,
नहीं है।
ma'am.
और लास्ट टाइम जब 2 वीक्स पहले जब वो स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट आई थी, उन्होंने कहा था कि अन्नू की आवाज बहुत अच्छी है, सबसे अच्छी आवाज है। तो आज वो आवाज का ये रूप भी हमें नया देखने को मिला। पोइट में और सॉन्ग में तो अलग होता है, लेकिन स्टोरी नरेशन में, और बहुत अच्छे से उन्होंने जिंदगी के जो इमोशंस हैं उस स्टोरी में तो है ही, लेकिन अनु ने बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्रेस किया। और कहीं भी ये नहीं लगा कि उन्होंने मतलब उसको टूटने नहीं दिया, उस तारतम्य को हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, जो निरंतरता होती है, कंटिन्यूटी होती है, उसको ब्रेक नहीं होने दिया। बहुत अच्छा, गॉड ब्लेस
Thank
यू,
you so
बहुत
much, sir.
अच्छा।
Thank you.
Sridevi?
Congratulations for your first narration and बहुत मजा आया, मतलब I felt it, पूरा पिक्चराइज कर रही थी मैं, and you did very great. Thank you. Thank you.
प्रगति जी?
यहाँ तो जैसे अभी मेरी कविता में मैंने बोला कि हर रचनाकार, चाहे वो कोई भी रचना करे, उसे अपनी रचना को कोख में पालना होता है पहले। अन्नू जी ने पाला है इसको कोख में, और जब ये बाहर आया है बच्चा, तो इस बच्चे पर से नजर नहीं हट रही है, कान नहीं हट रहे। तो दिस इज द अचीवमेंट ऑफ every creator, I think. And I could see Shiv, I could see parents, I could see Chandra, I could see everybody. So congratulations, बहुत अच्छा बोला आप।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much.